Cristian Alvarez here at LowKick MMA, and I am here with Luke, the chef, Lessei. How's it going, Luke?
It's going good, man. How are you?
Doing well. I heard you're doing the seminars around the country. How's that going well for you? Is it a good side hustle so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good in multiple different ways. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy seeing lots of different places, and I enjoy connecting with the people, whether it be a 5-second conversation or some sort of network where it helps me in the future. You know what I mean? So seminars are great, dog.
Well, that's awesome to hear. And another thing that I want to ask now that you're pretty much a bit of the face of American Muay Thai, how much has this done for you?
That's crazy to hear.
Hey. Maybe I'm a little biased. I'm a Midwest boy myself, so I like seeing the guys from Iowa succeed. But in all seriousness, though, it's one of those things where, like, what has this done for you since you had 5 appearances and 1 championship, every one of them being a very exciting match, netting you bonuses? What has that done for you here on the American Muay Thai scene in terms of popularity, people wanting to talk to you, reach out to you? What has that done for you, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's got to be the reason why people want to keep doing seminars. But honestly, like, it's the catalyst to people like reaching out and finding out who I am. Like, maybe I'll bring them out to a seminar. But honestly, like, my seminar is kind of its own thing. And I think when people see my seminars, they want to bring me out for a seminars, not when they see me fight. But it kind of works together. I'm not sure, man. I'm still like processing all of it because I'm not necessarily the best yet. I just went down from number 5 to number 6 in the rankings. And like all of a sudden I have all these fans coming over to me at seminars, like asking me to sign their gloves and stuff. So people ask me, like, what has it done for you? Like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to process all those emotions. You know what I mean?
Well, that's actually a very big thing. It's an excellent thing to see us, the Americans, see that improvement on the Muay Thai scene because we're often underrepresented. And speaking into that, I've seen you in your battles in Mexico when you won those titles down there. How big of a jump is it when you went from fighting people like Federico Loy in Mexico, fighting in the United States, to immediately getting the call to fight someone like Joe Nottawa, who's a line fight champion, and then going on to fight guys like Eddie Abasola, fellow Americans, Pampara Coyate, a WMC European champion? How big of a jump was it for you mentally and physically facing those guys? One has a stacked roster of former champions in other organizations. So how was that for you when you settled in there and fought all those guys, seeing that different level?
Yeah, sick question. I mean, of course, like, you realize you get to a point in your amateur career and maybe in your professional career, your low-level professional career, where you're starting to become the big fish in the small pond. And shout out to all those dudes. Like, some of those dudes I fought in Mexico, like the 1 5-rounder I had in Rosarito was one of the toughest fights I ever had against this Mexican Oscar Magayan. He was like the hardest head I've ever tried to hit. But anyways, that's another tangent. I started thinking like that, right? I started thinking like I was a big fish and I was the best on this. Of course, I knew that 1 championship was there, but I also knew if we were going pro and semi-pro, I was the best semi-pro at this moment, like on paper or whatever. I was the one winning the triumphant title, which was, at the time, it was kind of the biggest pro promotion. Now it's like Warriors Cup has pros. There's all different ones. Warriors Cup is probably the biggest one in America. But anyways, I got the call to 1 championship, and I was like, oh, heck yeah, it's like my time to shine. Like, this is what I always wanted. And then thinking the generic route would be like, they put me against someone who's maybe it's their first or second fight in 1 championship out in Thailand, first or second fight on the card. And then I get the email and it says Joe Nottawa. And of course, I've known who this guy was for a long time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like shitting myself. But of course, it's a no-brainer. You just sign it and say, yes, like, I have to do this. And I go back and forth with these emotions like, man, this kind of sucks. Not that I want an easy fight, but it's like, dang, Joe Nottawa, first fight, they're kind of doing me dirty. They're throwing me to the cards right away. And then on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, I'm the one that it's supposed to go this way. Like, this is my destiny. I'm supposed to fight the Hall of Famer in my debut as the Midwest American. Like, that's my story. So it was like a back and forth with that. And then come fight night, it's like, yeah, all those emotions come together, and it's like, this is officially the best fighter I have ever fought, in my 20 years of training. Like, absolutely scared. Lumpini Stadium. It's just a complete shift from what I was doing to, fighting in the mecca of Muay Thai stadiums against a Hall of Famer that I was watching when I was younger. So, I still hear things to this day about people talking about that fight. So I think it was just awesome. I think it was all meant to go that way. I think I was meant to lose in that fashion. I think if I would have came into one championship and had maybe, a lesser known guy as an opponent, my story and my fan base would be a little bit different, and I like the way it's going right now. So
Oh, that's excellent to hear. But here's the thing about that, though. Speaking in levels, so you've traded wins and losses, beat Eddie Abasolo, hard fights against Mampara Koyate, Joe Nadawa, excellent fighters. No shame in losing to anyone like that, especially at that one level. But then you fight Cody Jerome, a guy who is a top tier guy in Canada, winner of the Road to One Canada edition, and he comes on out. And you see that high level, and then you dispatch that guy in 2 minutes with body shots. How did you feel in that moment when you realized, damn, I fought the cream of the crop? This guy was in that position that I was that kind of, and now he gets me. And you dispatched him in that way in those 2 minutes. So how'd you feel in the moment when you realized, did you level up? Am I at the cream of the crop? Where were you at mentally after your previous win against Cody Jerome? Thinking about that.
dang, dude, another sick question. Yeah, so like I went through all those emotions. Like I've been in the game for a while, so I know what fights to be like, okay, this is a really big win, and what fights not to like hold on to too much, like, and taking nothing away from any fighter that I've ever fought that I knew I should have beaten. But there's a different mindset going into a fight against Cody Jerome than going into a fight against Joe Nadawa. Of course, like I go into the fight against Joe Nadawa thinking win or lose, this is cool. I'm finally here. Win or lose, I just gotta go out and show my heart. But then going into a fight against Cody Jerome, I'm like, dude, I have to win this. Like, no matter what. If I lose this, that's not good at all. So yeah, but also like, I don't know. I think my coach Peach has told me, he's like, dude, any fighter could just get knocked out by any fighter. So, thinking about fight math that way is a little bit of a slippery slope, thinking, do I feel good about this win compared to those fights I fought against those guys? And it's like, honestly, man, at the end of the day, I'm smart enough to be able to process, to be able to train hard enough for whatever opponent. I'm not going to get too attached to any win, no matter who it is, until it's like the win, which is the belts, the number one.
Makes sense. But now, when it comes to that level and that sort of thing, how does it feel, though? Because obviously, we as Americans are a bit on the lower side when it comes to winning. As Europeans, Asians, they tend to outdo us. And when we do have them, we got guys like Jackie Boonton, Janet Todd, Sean Climaco, Steve Walker in the WBC. How does it feel being the Midwestern American, the guy from the heartland, who's basically being the pioneer in Muay Thai, going into one championship saying, hey, we can do it anywhere. California, Iowa, Chicago, New York. If you have the right training, you can be there, and you are that representative for the Midwest. Do you ever think about yourself in that sense where it's like, man, these guys from Iowa, Michigan, even guys out of Root for Sport in Wisconsin, they aren't quite here yet, and you're kind of the first guy to get to that level, and that's just a fact. So how do you feel? Do you ever reflect on that sort of thing that it can't be done in the States?
Yeah, of course. I reflect on it, and it's like, it can be done. Of course, anything can be done, but is there chosen ones in this world? Like, 'cause ever since I was a kid, I always felt like I didn't belong in the Midwest, and I was supposed to go out there and be a pro athlete. But also, it's like, because I am from the Midwest, because we are from the Midwest, there's a certain grounding, there's a certain work ethic, there's a certain like, we don't necessarily automatically dream big like someone who's maybe born in California or in New York and those type of places. Like, so when people tell me I'm the pioneer of Midwest Muay Thai, American Muay Thai, I'm definitely not the pioneer, of course. Like my father and the ones before me, that generation, those are the pioneers of Muay Thai, right? But like saying I'm the face of American Muay Thai coming from the Midwest, it just, I don't know, it lands weird because it just, like, I swear I'm such a regular dude. Anybody that comes to my seminars, it's like, it doesn't even make sense because I still think about these fights like I was thinking about them coming up as an amateur. I still feel those same feelings. And I think that's a testament to, like, it really doesn't change how you feel on the inside, all these big lights and the big stage. But yeah, man, it's pretty cool being the one that made it out to the mid to the big stage from the Midwest, and I think there's a lot of other dudes that kind of see that. And I've got messages of people saying they literally started Muay Thai because of me, and it's cool, man. The Midwest has always been looked over. It's like the flyover state. We always flew under the radar, and I always knew my time was coming. And there's got to be other dudes in there, that are just waiting for their moment. But a lot of the dudes from the Midwest don't understand how to promote themselves as good as I did. And I think luckily I had a creative mind with the way I would be posting and stuff like that. And it also got me noticed. So I hope that they learn from me that way too. But yeah, dude, of course anything's possible, like from anywhere. Like same thing, like Derrick Rose, dude, from the middle of nowhere in Chicago, like, and he made it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. Humble and creativity, and that's the way Muay Thai seems to work. But when it comes to this, so you have been out of action for roughly 4 months now. 2025 is still a big year for you. I know I've been posting about that. So what do you think comes next for Luke Lessei in one championship in the year 2025? What do you think? Where do you see yourself before the end of the year?
Yeah. So yeah, I got like 2 more fights I'm looking for by the end of this year. I was hoping to get on that Denver card, but they had rescheduled it because the main event had fell through with Stamp and Denise. And then, so the next American card is going to be like next year. So I'm just hoping to go out to Thailand for 2 more fights, sign the dotted line for whoever they want me to fight, and just put on better performance every time. Just try to get better and better, and then by the time I fight for the title, people will be like, "Damn, this is about to be the craziest fight of the century." Luke the Chef is fighting for the Muay Thai championship of the world, and I've only been in one championship for like 2 years. So hopefully by like 2026, maybe the end of 2026, we'll be right in there. But yeah, I just started, so I still think it's pretty fresh. It seems like I've been in one championship for a long time, just because I guess, for lack of a better term, the aura that I've created around myself and around the fights. Luckily, I put on good performances, but I'm hoping for 2 more good fights, and then we start working our way towards the title in 2026.
Well, excellent to hear. You've been in one championship for roughly a year and a half, and you represent yourself with class. And it's always good to see representatives like you and the American Muay Thai scene. Other than that, though, we got Luke the Chef Lessei. He's got 2 more fights. Other than that, though, thank you for your time, Luke.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
Sick. Thanks.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.